Hey there, Dave Cristello here, founder and CEO of Jetpack Workflow, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can 2x your firm's output without adding headcount or letting service quality suffer. I'm going to show you the system that is used by thousands of firms in 18 plus countries doing amazing things, like Andrew and Gianna's firm, who moved from spending 35% of their time on admin or non-billable client work to cutting it down to only spending 15% of their time. Or Christine, who for the first time in years was able to go on a stress-free vacation because she managed everything through Jetpack Workflow. Or Blake, who went from managing 4 to 16 employees and scaling up to serving over 2,000 clients and was able to do so without missing a single deadline. I'm really excited to walk you through the platform, so let's go ahead and dive in. All right, we're now live inside of the application, so let's dig in. I'm going to show you how you can standardize all of your routine processes inside of your firm, how you can set up some basic automations to make sure nothing is missed, and how you can track everything in your firm in a simple and efficient manner. So let's first go into something we call templates. And this is the place where anything you need to standardize, we recommend creating a template. So let's open up the template view inside of Jetpack Workflow. Now, let's go ahead and create our own template. You can come into here and you can create as many templates as you want. We also have 70 plus free templates that you can pull from our library. Let's just go ahead and create one from scratch today during today's quick overview video. So let's say that we need to do a CFO level review for our dentist clients every month, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that in. I'm gonna say, look, I'm the manager here. I'm gonna say this takes about 5 hours to complete. When we started to finish, we want it to take no more than 2 days. We want it to happen monthly. And we want the first one to happen at the end of this month. All right, so we can go ahead and create that job template. And we're gonna open up the template screen. So here's a quick overview of what we just built so far. We now have a template. It's called CFO Review Dentist Monthly. We have it happening monthly, repeats monthly. I'm the manager, 5 hours budgeted time, start to finish, no more than 2 days. So let's build out our individual tasks. So I might say something like review cash flow from prior month. I'm going to say this might take 30 minutes. I'm going to leave it for the end of the month. If I want to, I can add video reference links or documents, but for now, let's just go ahead and click enter, save the task, and move on. Okay, so next step, maybe the next step is, run CFO report and industry benchmarking. Okay, that's going to take another, we'll call it, this one's the long one. We'll take that 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and save that as the task. And then we're going to have a final task, which is schedule and conduct CFO review. Okay, this one's the bulk of the work here, so it's going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. All right. Now, maybe I'm doing this, maybe a different team member's doing it. You can always reassign it to somebody else. If I want Bob to run this meeting, that's fine. I'm going to hand it over to Bob. If Bob can't conduct this meeting until I finish my report, I can always set this up as a dependency that he can't actually schedule the meeting until I finish the prior 2 steps. But let me quickly show you what we've built so far. So we have a quick template here, CFO Review Monthly. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and roll that out to the appropriate clients, and the automation will take care of itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into here and click Create Job for multiple clients. Now, in this case, you could probably tag your clients as dentists, as HVAC, as design firms. You could tag them as individual or businesses. You can tag them with different service items. For today's purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple business clients to show you exactly how this plays out once I create it. So I've grabbed about a half a dozen over here, and I'm going to click the Create button. And immediately, we have this template, the CFO Review Dentist template, that has been applied out to 8 clients inside of the Jobs tab. So let me show you exactly what that now looks like inside of the Jobs tab. And the Jobs tab is your view of the forest. This is where you get to track and search and filter and sort anything that you would want to view inside of your firm. Any question you have about the status of work, about whether it is set up or not, about who's working on it, can be found in the Jobs tab. So for today's example, I'm going to go ahead and start typing CFO Review Dentist Monthly. There you can see it's already been indexed inside of the system. Here's every instance of the job that we just created. And now you can get to work. Now here's the great news. We just did this for CFO Review Dentist Monthly. You can also search by any client and pull all their work up in the screen. But just to let you know what we're looking at right now, you can see that this is the job name, CFO Review Dentist Monthly. This is the client that it's for. These are the standard amount of steps that we assign to each one of these service items. We have the due date and the recurrent schedule set up. We have the assignee, and we also have a status letting us know that this has not been started. Okay, now that we have this view right here, let's say we want to dive in and start working on this job. Now, the great thing about this job is you can now start collaborating with your team. You can now start adding statuses. You can now start adding labels, or you can even come into here and just start checking off work if you need to. Now, let's say as you're working on this, you might need something from a client. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but from a lot of the firms we talk with, sometimes the client doesn't get you all the information you need. Inside of Jetpack Workflow, letting everybody know that you're stuck on the client file is easy. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to come into here and just say waiting on client. You're going to come into here and say waiting on client, file A, B, and C, called and left the voicemail. Call and left voicemail. And maybe I'll let a team member know that's what I'm doing, right? So I'm going to let Bob know, hey, this might not make it. We're waiting on the client and left a voicemail. Probably follow up at a later date. Now, here's the cool thing. If I zoom back out to that list, it's going to show everybody that this job is waiting on a client. We're all going to know that the reason this isn't moving forward is because we're waiting on a client. It's a great visual cue that you can see on the job. And like many things inside of Jetpack Workflow, if you wanted to filter by this attribute, you come into here and say, show me everything that's waiting on a client. It will bring up that specific instance. All right, so I can zoom back out. Here's everything that we just created. Now, of course, we can't go through all the nooks and crannies of what Jetpack Workflow can do from a job screen, but I want to give you a high-level overview of what it looks like to create a template, set up the steps, assign it out to your clients, and have the job view to see everything that's going on. Now, a couple final things to highlight during today's overview. We have a view called Progress Report. So if you ever thought, hey, how are we doing? How's progress in our firm? We have a report for that. So I'm going to come in and click reports. I'm going to come in and click this month, and I can instantly see how we're trending for this month. Here's the day. Here's where we're at in terms of jobs being completed, tasks being completed, and whether or not we're roughly on track for the month. You can also see how many incomplete jobs are left, and I can click into this and view the exact list. You can see how many jobs have been completed, how many jobs have been completed on time, how many jobs have been late. So if you want to do an audit of who's completing work on time or not, you just simply click into here. It'll take you back to that jobs list and give you an audit trail and an archive trail of what's been done in your firm. But the point being is that this progress report is your snapshot into saying, how are we doing at any given moment in the month, in the week, in the quarter, in the year. Everything is listed here in this progress report. The final thing I'm going to mention is the dashboard. The dashboard is like your 60-second snapshot of how the firm is doing each and every morning. So here's what it could look like when you open up the dashboard. First thing you're going to see is this quadrant up here. This is going to show you how much work your firm has in motion. It's going to show you how many jobs are due next week, for example. It's going to show you the budgeted hours that have been assigned to those jobs. Same with due this week, how many jobs are overdue, the hours they represent. All of this is in the upper quadrant on the dashboard. It's also going to show you how many jobs are waiting on a client. Maybe there's scope warning, maybe it needs a second reviewer. All of the various labels you can apply to a job will be listed here. And anytime you want to investigate more information, you can click into this and it'll take you to the job screen. You also have the statuses over here. And then finally, you have a team breakdown of budgeted time. Now you can view this by budgeted time or jobs simply by filtering over here. The final thing I want to mention is if you just want to see what's going on in your firm, who's completing what and when did they get it done, we have this trail on the right-hand side to show you exactly what's happening inside of your firm. Now, of course, there is a lot to go through inside of Jetpack Workflow. We haven't talked about our Zapier automation, which allows you to connect with over 2,000 applications. We haven't talked about the client view. We haven't talked about the metrics download. We haven't talked about so much inside of the screen, but I want to give you a quick overview of what the application could do for you and your firm. Now, if you're interested in checking out Jetpack Workflow, we do have a 14-day free trial. You can get started at jetpackworkflow.com, or you can click the button below this video to learn more about the application and get started on your own free trial. We're really excited to see you in the application. If you have any questions in the meantime, we always have this little bubble in the bottom right-hand corner where you can ask us questions. Thank you so much for watching and look forward to working with you inside of Jetpack Workflow.